Hey everybody, my name is Duke. I'm here with LPT Medical for our weekly live stream. Last week we talked about traveling in your car and roadside travel. Today we're going to be talking about what you need to do to be prepared to travel by plane, train, or bus or cruise ship. So we're going to start off with talking about plane travel because that is typically the most popular reason why people buy the portable concentrators, so that way they can fly and they are FAA approved. So it's pretty important, and it's definitely a subject we want to touch on. So we'll start with getting to the airport. Always make sure that you arrive early. You don't want to be there. You don't want to be stressing out as you're running to the gate or anything like that. Always plan ahead. I mean, if I can take one thing away from growing up with having a father who overplans his trips, it would be get there as early as you possibly can and just wait at the terminal. But really, if you are going to drive yourself, try to find a parking spot or a parking lot that has a shuttle that will shuttle you to and from your parking lot to the airport terminal, so you aren't spending a lot of energy walking from your parking spot at the airport to the terminal. And this is also going to be a great way to save you some money because they do overcharge for that airport parking. If possible, we definitely recommend having somebody drop you off at the airport rather than taking a shuttle and parking. This will eliminate a lot of energy spending because even when you do park at the off area lots, there's still some walking involved. It's not too much, but if possible, definitely try to have somebody drop you off. And like I said before, definitely give yourself plenty of time, especially if you need assistance getting through the terminal. Speaking on getting through the terminal, security is one of the top questions that we get asked about when people are inquiring about the portable concentrators. The portable units have been out for several years now, so security, TSA, they're getting much more accustomed to seeing these portable units come through their lines. They're not going to question you too much. So there's two ways that you can go through security with your portable oxygen concentrator. If you are able to go without oxygen for a couple minutes, you can put your concentrator through the X-ray machine. It's not going to damage your unit, it's not going to damage your batteries, anything like that. However, if you can't disconnect from your concentrator, don't worry. I mean, there's plenty of reasons why people can't go through the metal detectors and have their bags go or have items go through the X-ray machine. So if you cannot disconnect, let your TSA agent know. They will take you for a private screening, and they'll just go through and give you a pat down and all that good stuff. And there's a good chance that there's going to be a swab test for trace chemicals or explosives. Nothing to be concerned about. Your concentrator will be good to go there. As far as getting to your gate and going through security, the Air Carrier Access Act passed in 1986, and that requires all U.S.-based airlines to offer passengers with medical conditions assistance in getting to the gates. So this means that, like my mom, she got both of her hips replaced. So when we traveled, we called the airline, let them know that she needed assistance getting to the gate. So when we arrived and we checked in, they had an agent waiting for her with a wheelchair to wheel her through. This was great for my mom, especially she could walk at the time, but since she was recovering from surgery, it definitely saved us a headache. And seeing as how if you're living with a respiratory disease, walking through the terminal is going to take a lot of energy, and it's going to increase your breathing rate, which in turn will make you use more of your battery life. So always make sure that you give them a call 48 to 72 hours in advance to give them notice. If you don't go 48 hours to 72 hours in advance, there's a possibility that they're not going to be able to accommodate your needs. This also goes for when you arrive to the airport at your destination, so that way you have somebody waiting for you at the gate when you deboard the plane. Now, if you're flying alone and you need somebody to help you, but you'd rather get through the terminal, but you'd rather have a friend than somebody who works at the airline, get in contact with your airline. They can get an escort pass, whether it's your mom, your loved one, anything like that. They're going to be able to escort you all the way to the gate and make sure you get on the flight safely, and then they'll be able to leave the airport on their own. And then just a little tip, Once you get to your gate, we always recommend that you plug your portable concentrator in. This is going to conserve your battery life for when you land, when you're on the plane, all that good stuff. Just always make sure whenever you have a chance while you're traveling to plug your concentrator in. This is going to allow your concentrator to still give you oxygen while it recharges your battery. Now, once you get to the gate, you're going to be worried about boarding your plane. We spoke a couple weeks ago about letting your airline know about that you're traveling with oxygen. They're going to let you know what they need, and when you board the plane, this is when you're going to need to give them that information. So most of the time, it is a prescription or a form from your airline signed by the doctor. If you do not have those items and they do require them, there's a good possibility that they aren't going to let you on the flight. So once you get to the gate, we always recommend that you board when you can do early boarding, so you can get situated first and plug your concentrator in. A lot of the newer airlines do have the standard 110 outlet, so you can plug your electronics in. We definitely recommend using that for your portable concentrator. And then let your flight attendants are also very knowledgeable, and they've seen portable concentrators plenty of times. They know how they work. They're not, if you got through TSA, they're not going to question if it's FAA approved. Well, they shouldn't. If they do, all of these units are FAA approved that we sell. The Inogen 1G3, the Inogen 1G4, the Sequel Eclipse, the GCE Zeno, the GCE Zeno Lite. All of these machines have on the shell of the machine have it explicitly stating that they're approved for FAA, approved by the FAA for use on board the plane. Just in case you aren't sure what your airline needs in order to get on the plane, we have created a free download that you can find in our exclusive Facebook group. It'll be pinned to the top of our Facebook group for the next few days, so you can go and access and download it there. On this download, we're going to have all of the phone numbers and links and the websites, so you can visit the major airlines and see what they require for you to travel with oxygen. That's pretty much what we have to cover as far as airline travel. If you have any questions, just feel free to comment them below. We'll get to them at the end of the segment. Now we're going to be talking about train travel. This is also a very popular way for people to travel. And it's actually a fun and different way to see the country and get to your destination. When you're boarding the train, you can't make at this time you can't make train reservations on Amtrak's website for someone on oxygen, but you do have to call and speak to somebody to let them know of your special needs. When you do get on the train, you are required to have a copy of your prescription. If you think you need assistance while boarding the train, let your ticketing agent know. Someone will be available to help you get on and off the train, and they will also help with your luggage. Again, a common theme with traveling with oxygen is arrive early and always give yourself enough time. If you don't give yourself enough time, it just increases stress levels and it can turn into a disaster. So always plan ahead. So this does Amtrak does offer early boarding. This does vary from train station to train station, but always check with your ticketing agent and see if they offer it. That way you have time to get on and get situated before all the hustle and bustle joins you. One of the great things about traveling by train is Amtrak has power outlets in most of their seats, if not all of them, especially in the sleeper cars. This means that you're going to be able to use your concentrator while plugged into any of the outlets. It's going to recharge your batteries, and it's also going to supply you with oxygen at the same time. However, just because they have outlets on the train doesn't mean you can neglect recharging your batteries. You always want to make sure your batteries are fully charged when you're traveling by train. This is in case of the event of a power outage or an emergency situation, anything like that. Traveling by train is fairly simple with oxygen, so that's basically all the tips that we have for traveling by train. Now we're going to get into a segment that I really like to talk about, traveling by cruise. I don't know if you've ever been on a cruise, but if you haven't, I definitely recommend it. It's a great way to relax and have a good time with your loved ones. and cruise ships are extremely accommodating of people with oxygen concentrators, disabilities, and they are amazing time. So for those of you who haven't gone on a cruise, the process of boarding a cruise ship can be a very lengthy process. It's going to be very advantageous for you to let the agents know, let your cruise line know that you are traveling with oxygen and you do need to board early. I had an experience with this. One of my friends, we went on a cruise. She was in a wheelchair because she broke her foot. We got to go on the boat about an hour and a half to 2 hours before everybody else for special boarding. We didn't have to wait in any lines. So always let them know that you have your oxygen and you need to board early. It's going to make the boarding process a heck of a lot easier. The process of boarding a cruise ship is very similar to TSA or an airplane. You're going to go through a metal detector, so same tips as last time. If you can disconnect from your concentrator, go ahead and put it through the x-ray machine. If you can't, let the agent know. They will go do the swab and they will pat you down and all that good stuff. So if you don't get special boarding, be prepared for the long wait times and the long lines. It's not only TSA and security inspection, they're also going to check your passport. But one of the great things about cruises is once you get there, you get to leave your luggage and somebody brings your luggage to your room for you. So you aren't going to have to worry about lugging your bags around on the cruise ship as you go to find your cabin. Sometimes, on that note, sometimes the bags do take a couple hours to get to your room. So anything like special medications, extra batteries, power supplies, maybe that bathing suit, those are stuff that you're going to want to keep with you so that way you can start having fun immediately when you get on and get situated. Don't want to be wasting too much time because there's a lot of fun to be had on the cruise ships. And then one great thing about cruise ships is that every ship sails on board with a doctor. So after you get situated, make a point to go talk to the doctor, introduce yourself, let them know about your condition, let them know that you have a concentrator on board. That way, should anything happen, they're already familiar with your situation and can help you better and faster and be more efficient. Honestly, cruises are a lot of fun and they're very easy and very simple, and the cruise line goes above and beyond to bend over backwards for you and make sure that you're taken care of. If you have any questions about the cruise ships or the trains, feel free to comment below. And make sure you always plan ahead and have a great time on your trips. That's about it for today. Make sure that you remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel. We post a lot of nice videos, educational videos, product knowledge videos, so you'll definitely get a lot to learn there. And make sure that you join our Facebook group. Our Facebook group is a great spot for you to connect with other people with respiratory diseases who are on oxygen, who have either been through what you've gone through or what you're going through. They can help be support. You can find new friends. And then always make sure that you join our email list. Our email list is where you can get access to some of our best sales. You can get our educational content. We send blog posts with COPD tips, managing or making sure how to take care of your concentrator with pets, all that good stuff. Do we have any questions?
No, we got a lot of waves and thumbs up, so I think we're good.
Awesome. Well, thanks for tuning in today, guys. We'll be back next Wednesday. Again, if you have any questions and you're not watching this while it's live, make sure you leave your comment below because we will always respond to anything that you ask us. And have a great day.